Welcome to my garden. Today we're going to be freezing some tomatoes and I'm going to show you a really easy way to do that. So I'm down in the garden, we're going to pick some ripe tomatoes. I got more than what I can eat right now. Don't want them to go to waste. So let's pick those tomatoes, let's get them up to the kitchen and I'll show you a really easy way to freeze them, to preserve them so you can use them down the road. Let's get picking. So I got quite a few tomatoes here I just picked. So let's go up to the kitchen and I'll show you a really easy way to preserve them by freezing. So I have the tomatoes that we're going to be freezing over there on the counter. But before we can freeze them, we need to wash them. Now, my tomatoes are probably about as clean as you can get. They come directly from my garden. I don't use any chemicals on them, anything like that. But still, I like to clean them. I want to make sure that they're as clean as possible before I freeze them. And the way I clean them, I use a three-step process. What I do is first rinse them off under the sink, and then I have a bowl here that I put cold water in, and I give them a vinegar bath. I use about 1/3 of a cup of vinegar, white vinegar, that I just pour in there. And the white vinegar bath is a nice way to get rid of anything that maybe just rinsing with cold water won't get rid of. So after they soak just for a bit, I'll take them back over to the sink and then I'll rinse them off. And after I rinse them off, I'll just put them on this towel to dry. So let's do it. And then after I've let them soak in the vinegar bath just for a little while, I take them back over to the sink and then I'm just going to rinse them off. So after you've washed them, you want to go ahead and core them, cut them, and then flash freeze them. So what I do, I get a cookie sheet, I put parchment paper on it, and I put it in the freezer ahead of time, get it nice and cold. I find that if I do that, when I do cut them and I want to flash freeze them, they seem to get colder, or they seem to freeze a lot quicker if I do that. So all you need to do is take your clean tomato. You first want to go ahead and core it. And then I've seen it done different ways. Some people will freeze them whole. I like to quarter them. I find that they don't take up as much space when you quarter them, when you freeze them. And then also after you bring them out and want to use them, the skins come off pretty easily. So I go ahead and I quarter my tomatoes when I do it. So you just want to cut it into 4s. Now if it's a really big tomato, of course you can make it smaller. So that's pretty much it. I always look for bad spots. If I see a bad spot, I'm going to cut it out. This is a really nice tomato. Almost want to save it for a sandwich or my salad, but hey, I got more over there that I'm going to be using for that. So again, core it, and then you just go ahead and quarter it. Put it on your cookie sheet. And then once you have it filled, just put it in the freezer. It takes about a couple hours until it's flash freeze. And then once it is flash freeze, we'll bring it back out and I'll show you the next step. So I checked the tomatoes in my freezer and they're fully frozen. And it's been about 2.5 hours. So that's about how long it took in my freezer. It may vary in your freezer. But now we're ready for the next step, and that is to put them in a storage container that will be permanent. Oh, I say permanent as in lasting probably up to about 9 months. It varies depending on what system you use. Now, one of the things, there's 2 systems that you can use. You can use a vacuum sealer, that's what I use. Another method that you can use is, they call it the Ziploc bag straw method, where you would actually put the items in there and then suck the air out. So I've never actually tried this. I've seen people online who do this method. So that's something that you can look at. And there's videos online to show you how to do that if that's the way you want to do it. But I bought this vacuum sealer a while back. And I found it really helps me with everything that I want to do. When I'm not canning something, if I don't have enough items to can, then I'll go ahead and freeze it and use the vacuum sealer. So let's pull out the frozen tomatoes and I'll show you how we do it. So you can see the frozen tomatoes here. And so all I do is I'll take a bag, vacuum sealing bag, and I'm just gonna fill it up. And it depends on, you know, some people, if you have an idea of what you would use for a sauce or something like that, you can go ahead and decide that way. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put them in 2 bags, 1 bag for each tray. And these are gallon bags that I'm using, which are kind of maybe a little bit bigger than what I really need for this. And the nice thing with a vacuum sealer, you can actually make your own bags, whatever size you want. The bags I'm using here are pre-made. These are gallon bags. So they might be a little bit bigger than what I would normally do, but that's what it is. So I just put them in there, and with the vacuum sealer, I just go ahead and I'll stick it in here. And the vacuum sealer is going to go ahead and it's going to see what I have in here. It's going to pull the air out. Because this bag's bigger than what I probably really needed, it's taking a little bit longer. And now this, at least with mine, what it does, as soon as it does the vacuuming, it goes automatically to seal mode. Okay, and it pops off when it's done. And there we go. So you can see all the air has been pulled out. There's my tomatoes that I froze. And that's how easy it is. So let me go ahead, get the second tray. We'll do it again. So here is the second tray of the tomatoes that we fresh froze, and I'm just going to grab a bag, fill it up, So once you have your tomatoes in there, just go ahead and shake it a little bit to try to settle them down. And then all I do is go ahead and I will stick the bag right into the unit. So you can see how easy that is with a vacuum sealer. I mean, I've never, like I said, I've never used the straw method, and if you want to go ahead and do that, that's great. This vacuum sealer I've found really beneficial with what I do. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it. If you want to see more videos about the South Mountain, about preserving food, about the gardening, about good Appalachia style recipes, please subscribe to the channel, and I do hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.